season. Haven't felt like this in a long time here, completing up a off-season. Just the energy is back in the building, the excitement level, attention to detail. I say, I don't know, this might sound kind of bad, but I mean, I'm enjoying football again, excited to come to work every single day. The last couple of years, there were days where I couldn't honestly say that, so that's awesome to have that feeling back. Really excited about working with the staff. I think Kyle, by far one of the most intelligent coaches that I've worked with. Just his overall knowledge of the game, the way he sees the game, schematically, the way he constructs his offense, and then also just the way he kind of, I think one of the things, I'm going to give a real long answer, kind of cover everything. I think one of the things that as a first-time head coach you wonder is, how are they in front of the team? How are they going to be able, how are they, because, a lot of times they're just used to being coordinators, they're used to watching the film, kind of going off that. But I've been super impressed by the things that he says in team meetings, the way he addresses different things, just the way he commands presence, and I'm really excited about this offseason. So looking forward to these next 5 weeks that we have, working towards training camp, getting the bodies ready, and coming back ready to go. Thank you.
What is it about the way he stands in front of the team and commands it?
I think he speaks very openly and honestly with everybody, and he's done that from day one. And I think guys really respect that. And I mean, you guys have seen that with different things that have gone on in the offseason, whether it be with Vance McDonald trade rumors and all that stuff. He's been very open and honest with all his players, and he's the same way in film. I mean, he calls out myself and Bowman the same way as he calls out a rookie free agent. He expects the same out of all of us, and no one's above anybody. And then also the way that he just kind of, you really respect him just because of the overall understanding and knowledge that he has of the game. I can't stress that enough. He's he's the smartest coach I've been around.
Has that raised the expectations for what this team can accomplish this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have leadership like that, you have to raise your game, and that you have to be exactly on your assignments and your techniques, because he leaves no stone unturned. So I mean, it's not going to be a situation where, hey man, the coaches never covered that. Well, yeah, they did, because they'll cover everything, and they expect every single person to know it and hold themselves to the same standard. And that's offensively and defensively that I'm seeing this team.
Sure, much has been made about, they got 6-year contracts, and they're going to do this slowly, which is probably not great news for an older player. However, they have made moves like a Doomerville.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But I mean, not all the moves are, for 20-something guys. They had made moves that would suggest they're trying to be competitive, now. I mean, what is your feeling of how long this is, could take, and do you think it could happen fast?
I mean, I'm not concerned with how long a rebuild or all that stuff. All I know is that last year we were a 2-14 team, and like I said at the beginning of the offseason, we have a long way to go to get to where we want to be. But we got to take it one day at a time, and we can't look at it like, hey, we're going to do this and this and this. We're going to have a 8-8 year this year and a 10-6 year next year, and the year after that you'll be ready to go. We just got to take it one day at a time, and we just finished up the off-season program. I thought we made a lot of progress offensively and defensively, and as far as just learning the schemes, learning what's required of us, and then we'll carry that into the training camp. But getting back to your point of bringing in a lot of the players, one thing I've noticed with all the players they brought in are a lot more football guys. I mean, a lot of guys that just have the right mentality of just coming in every day, working, grinding, putting in that work. Guys just really love the game of football, so that's really exciting.
We talked to Michael LaFleur the other day, and he said that you gave Jeremy Curley a good recommendation in the off-season. Did they seek you out? Was that an isolated talk that you had, or did they come to you to get your opinion as
when I first came here? I mean, I kind of came to them and was like, yeah, I'm open book. I want you guys to ask all the questions you need to ask, and I'll tell you openly, honestly about people you want to know about on the roster. And Curley is one of the guys that I was like, I'm gonna stand on the table for that guy. Saw the way he worked and kept his head down when things were going bad last year. The way that he was very consistent every day. Showed up to work, showed up to practice the same way day one as he did in the last week of the season. So I mean, that's the guys that I'm talking about that they brought in that are pros, guys that real pros pro, cliche. But those are the kind of guys you want a team to be built around. And they're not going to be these superstars every time. They're guys that understand that when their number's called, they'll be ready to go, and those are the guys that you can win games with.
They've got Armstead on the edge, which is sort of a, not the first spot you would think for a guy who's his size. Did they talk to you at all about what it's like to block him in practice and whether he could be that guy who goes against the left tackle?
I definitely think he can. I mean, he's an unusual athlete, being how tall he is, his length. I mean, like you said, he's not a guy you typically see in that role. He's usually kind of a speed guy. But he's athletic enough to play that position. I think right now, coming back from his shoulder surgery in the offseason, he's kind of working through that early on. But the last couple of weeks, he definitely saw an improvement as far as him getting more confidence in that. And I think he's just going to kind of ascend going through training camps where he gets more comfortable. Because it is different than playing a 3 technique. And what his role has been in the first 2 years of his NFL. So.
Did Saleh ask you about him or any of the defensive coaches what it's like to run?
What were your thoughts being able to go in practice against Elvis Dumerville? You faced him
Yeah,
a few
excited, man. He's a heck of a player. Remember the week we had in Baltimore? We went against him, and I mean, his career speaks for himself. Everybody knows who he is and what a special pass rusher he has been in the NFL for a long time. So, really excited. Opportunity to practice against him, kind of, talk and share some things and just compete against him.
What's been your impression of the quarterback since you've swapped out the guys from last year, have all new guys this year, and Brian really seems to have taken control?
Yeah, he's incredibly knowledgeable of the system, as you kind of expect that being with him before. Kind of taking control of the huddle from day one and kind of, it's helped explain guys, where exactly to line up, what we're kind of looking for here, line of looks we're expecting. So I've been very done a really good job of communicating. And yeah, it's been awesome. So
you mentioned being excited to come to work. Does the system challenge you in ways that maybe previous ones haven't?
No, it's all similar. I mean, offenses typically all kind of have the same plays. Everybody kind of runs outside zone, inside zone, power, traps, draws, play actions. I mean, everybody has the same kind of system. It's the way the play caller calls it, and that makes it a different system. So no, I mean, I've run all this stuff forever, but I am very excited because I've been kind of looking forward to just watching as a football fan of just the work that he's been able to do everywhere he's been, and kind of watching film of other players, other teams. You watch Cleveland. I watched Joe Thomas a lot. I watched Trent Williams a lot. When he was there, I'd be like, man, it'd be awesome to play for Shanahan and his offense. I just feel like I'd be a good fit. So excited to just kind of bummed that it's happening in year 11 instead of year 4, 3, or 1. So, but I'm excited.
What have you seen out of Josh Garnett on both sides?
Yeah. Huh?
What have you seen out of Josh Garnett working on both sides?
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to find, that's one of the things too, we're just trying to find the best 5 guys. So we're working everybody out kind of all over the place. And I think Josh has done a really good job, because it's really hard going from one side to the other. People don't understand how weird that is for an offensive lineman, because everything's somewhat footwork driven, and it's been pretty fluid for him. He's been able to do a good job as far as that, but at the end of the day too, it's also, we just completed an off-season program, OTAs. I mean, we don't have pads on. Our job is to play with pads, not this. So you can talk about how good people's footwork is, or how good of a bull rush a defensive lineman had with no pads. So training camp will know more.
A lot of guys this offseason have talked about when Shanahan dissects a play, they're like, wow, I've never heard a coach do it like that. He talks about the offense and the defense and that guy on the far side of the field, what he's supposed to do and how we're going to attack him. Have you had the same kind of reaction? Or
100%. I mean, you leave team meetings with him, we're just like, I had one today. He was doing the same thing, breaking down like different select plays in front of the whole team, kind of understanding like conceptually what a defense is trying to do. Conceptually, what is the offense trying to do in a specific play? Where are we trying to attack? Who has the sombrero, so to say, on the play? Who's the guy that's putting all the pressure on? What does a defense want to do to try to put all the pressure on one specific player? They want to correct matchups and all that stuff. And I never really had it broken down for me like that. So even today we had a meeting like that, and I just kind of looked over to Kilgore, sitting next to him in the team meeting. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, you kind of get like chills almost, because you're like, it's just cool to see football talked about that way, instead of like, hey, you got to do your job. It's like, okay, yes, sir. But it's like, why do I have to do my job? Well, this is why. Because the play is designed for me to win. I'm the reason why this play is successful or not. Or, the slot receiver is the reason why a running play to the right is successful or not. It takes everybody. He's really done a good job of kind of explaining that, and it's got the receivers really buying into all that, and they're selling out for the run game as much as the pass game because it's all tied together.
Did you get a demonstration out there by the old Hammer backup dancer?
Yeah, I just found that out afterwards. I was like, wow, that was a cool dance. And then they told me that he was a backup dancer, so that was cool. Yeah, it was awesome. I don't have moves like that. I can't. That was nice rhythm. Cool.